All right, guys, happy Friday. We hope everybody has something red to remember. Everyone
Not me.
deployed.
Mhm.
You can have purple. There's red in purple, right?
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about some purpley things with Westwood today on Happy Hour. So everybody grab a drink, grab a friend. Cannon's got to share some insight with us. Oh, you should have fixed your hair before you came on.
It's
Good Lord.
fine.
Mercy.
It's fine.
Boy, your faux hawk is failing. It's failing. Faux hawk failure. One man down.
I'm not gonna keep it for much longer.
Faux hawk down. Okay. Well, let's get Westwood in here and find out what's going on. There's a lot. See you guys on the other side. Give us a like, share the video, and join us in the live chat. Hey, Westwood, how's it going?
Howdy.
You're
Cannon.
rolling.
Hi, lovely Lake Queen Lisa. How you
Great
doing
to
on this fine
see you.
Friday?
I'm doing pretty well. Yeah, we are staying focused on the positive things, and lots of news coming out today, and lots of comms everywhere. All the comms. You know I love comm.
Indeed. Not commies, comms.
Yeah.
I like the commies.
Nice shirt.
Oh, yeah.
We're doing a little roll tide
I dropped
today.
the O. I dropped the O.
Yeah.
We should all drop the O.
We should
Just
all
saying.
drop the O.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're
roll tide.
Speaking of the Obamas, they and the Clintons were mentioned in some news today, linking them to that island.
Oh, really? Another island issue, I see. Huh?
Another island issue, yeah.
What's with these islands? What's happening on these islands?
I don't know. I also heard
isolated islands.
What's that town that in Hawaii that?
Lahaina.
Lahaina, thank you.
Yeah.
The mayor of Lahaina is now evicting people that didn't lose their homes in the fire.
Well,
so that BlackRock
natural disaster, it's contaminated, it's not safe for people. You realize, under the governor's orders, if you go look at the governor's website and the orders, the proclamations that have been made about this whole fire situation, he suspended laws, and he gives a whole list of laws that have been suspended. And one of them, in fact, is during a crisis like this, and it's only good until August 31st. Now they'll probably extend it. It's just for a few weeks. That they suspend all your rights and get rid of the laws.
That's actually unconstitutional.
Yes, it is.
It does not say in the Constitution that any of our God-given rights are to be suspended because in case of emergency.
These are times when you need your rights the most.
Right.
I'm saying. But one of the interesting things is you cannot sell any property in this afflicted area for more than what it was valued at before. So in other words, you can't jack the price of it up. So in other words, there's a ceiling on the price of the property right now. So if you're a resident, you say, hey, fine, pay me 3 times what it's worth. You can't do that. Because under this whole, not executive order, or this whole governor thing, it's like, well, no, we can't have price gouging. So we got to cap the price of all property.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. See how that works?
Well, Cannon's with us today because I was doing some show prep, looking at the news and checking everything out, and he was like, what is that? He's like, wait, that happened on Fortnite. And we keep seeing all these comms on Fortnite, whether it's on a video, like a preview,
or actually in game.
Yes. So I'm trying to think, what did we hear about that resonated with the Hawaii situation? Oh, the Herald.
Oh, yeah.
She burned the island.
She didn't burn it. She exploded it with the crown.
Okay. She exploded the island
so
with
the
Herald.
The Herald, she came in chapter.
Is your game in here?
No, it's out there.
Oh.
I can go grab it while you're
So what'd she do, though?
So in chapter 3, season 3, at the end of the preview, like every season they release a preview of what's going to be, like, what's in that season and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And there's one that's like for the season and one for the battle pass. The one for the season at the end of it, it showed we didn't know who she was at the time. It showed that she was holding this orb, and she could see the whole island through it, and we didn't know what who she was. So at that time, we were calling her the Bloom Queen because we didn't know. And then in Chapter 3, Season 4, with the map changes, the sanctuary is the Seven's home, and she corrupted that with her chrome, and it turned into Herald Sanctum. And then she was a boss, and she had this orb, and she was looking at the reality tree.
Okay.
And so throughout the season, she corrupted more POIs
are points of interest. So she
with
corrupted more
chrome.
points of interest with chrome.
She spread the chrome all over the island.
Spread the chrome everywhere.
And then at the end of the season, the Chapter 3 finale event happened. And in one of the previews, it showed that she consumed herself into the tree, and she exploded herself with the chrome.
Okay, what was the story that you were just telling me about? The Midas guy, the Midas touch guy, and
Midas?
the
Loop Breaker project?
And the Loop Breaker project.
Okay.
I wonder if anybody's heard about the Loop Breaker project. And there was also something where I was watching a video and I said, oh, there's Project Looking Glass.
And one of them mentioned the apparatus.
These yellow cubes
and
that are the Looking Glass project.
And the yellow cube, so in the Chapter 2 finale event, the island flipped, and like before it flipped and everything, the Cube Queen, she had the pyramid on because was her POI at that time, and it was in the middle of the map, and she was corrupting the whole map. And it shot a beam into the sky, and it broke the force field across the island.
And what color was the beam?
The beam orange.
Oh,
or
the
yellow.
beam was orange then, or yellow?
The beam.
Okay.
Not the apparatus, but I'm talking about the Chapter 2 end event, and it shot this like orange yellow beam into the sky, and it broke the force field around the island because the islands have a force field around it, but not the Chapter 4 island, so we're not safe in the Chapter 4 island. But the Chapter 3 and Chapter 2 island had a force field around it.
Okay.
And
He's very excited about this.
And it shot a beam up to the sky, and it broke the force field, and outside of it you saw space. You saw space, but there were many motherships, like multiple motherships from the last reality. And behind them all was the big cube cradle, which is like as big as a planet.
Okay.
And right in the middle of it was a golden cube.
The golden cube. I was just thinking about Melania's dress. The golden cube. And then
I was thinking of the big golden cube in Central Park or in New York. Remember that one?
Central Park. Yeah. There's a golden cube thing. And that was around that time, I guess.
It wasn't like a normal square shaped. It was square, but it was kind of pointed like a dime, like a, I forgot what that shape is. Like if you turn
tetrahedron?
If you turn the cube not
prism,
not square flat, but like
onto the corners.
Parallelogram?
Onto the corners.
No, if you turn it like this way, not this way.
Yeah, like total.
Like angle.
But it was like.
And now you guys know I love hot tamales.
Yeah.
It's like the Superman thing when they caught him in the glass. Remember that in the movie? They trapped them all in there, and they were like in space, and this like he turns it this way, it's the shape, but then it's flat. Is that what it was? You can see the shape this way, but then it's flat this way.
Maybe, yeah.
It's like a holographic prism trap or something.
Yeah. I don't know. It was just very interesting hearing him and then I was watching this thing about Nikola Tesla, and he was like, "Wait a minute. Look at that. That's in my show."
That's in the game.
In the game, yeah. The game.
It happened a while ago, but
yeah, but in the game, and then he shows me this video, and it was called the what?
Well,
the Loop Break. Was that the Loop Breaker video?
The Loop Breaker project.
It looked like DC, and these things come out of the ground that look like out of the water. Sorry, that look like the Washington Monument.
Yeah.
But there's 4 of them, and purple lasers come in and blow up.
Kind of like purple pinkish.
Okay. Whatever. Come in and blow up the building, and then the Tesla energy thing comes up out of the
And
center,
it just starts going.
and then there's free energy released.
And there you go. Obelisks.
And it happened in chapter 3. No, not chapter 3. Chapter 2, season 3. And there are
23.
these two.
Okay.
There are these
Yeah.
two. And it exploded the agency.
The agency. Okay.
Exploded the agency.
And it came out of the ground of the basement of it, I think.
Oh, I'm so behind on the chat. Okay, keep talking. I gotta catch.
Okay. And it came out of the ground, and it was like those electric balls where you put your hand on it and the electric comes to the.
It's like what we were showing on
Yeah.
the Tesla tower.
Yeah.
It
was kind of like that, but it shot
energy.
out to all the pillars that came out of the water.
Yes.
And it tried to break the storm to like free us from the storm. It failed, and the next season after that, the whole island got flooded.
Really? You don't say.
Look out, Florida.
Got flooded. Yeah. Well, we're seeing all that flooding in Germany
All over
and
the place.
China right
now. I mean, we had it in the
lot.
West. We got Hillary scooting up the rear end of California right now.
Yes, I have the best Hillary meme right now on Twitter. Somebody said, Hillary's coming California. What should you do? And I said, hide your children. Protect your children. That's hilarious. So
what was that?
It's Hillary. She's flying up the coast of.
Is she
riding
bad?
her broomstick.
Yes, she's very bad. Well, she was very bad.
What do you mean was?
I think
Good
they
call.
got rid of her.
Oh, that's funny. That's when she was looking at the balloons. Remember at the whole campaign season.
Listen, he's talking. What'd you say, Westwood?
Oh no, I was saying that's when she was looking at the balloons. You know that face. You know when all the balloons were falling at one of the campaign things.
That is that face. Or was it another one of her seizures? Yeah.
AIs. Who knows?
Yeah, malfunction.
Balloon.
It's okay. You don't have to know what we're talking about. Anyway, so tell us the latest update before you go, because I know you're bored.
No, I enjoy talking about this stuff.
I know you do. Okay. Well, we're going to move on to talk about something else. But I want you just to give us your latest, what's the most current thing.
Sum it up.
Happening right now.
Yes.
Okay. So right now it's. Do I need to tell the chapter?
No, sure you can.
So right now we're in chapter 3, season 4, and throughout the beginning of the season, there was this telescope thing. We didn't even know it was a telescope at the beginning.
Now it's called the apparatus.
And
we'd already told them this part. Jump in.
It got built and everything, and now it's shooting a purple laser into the sky, and it's like a spiral thing in the sky, and it has a moon or the cube cradle maybe, and every time it moves, it's getting closer to the island.
And they just put out a thing across your thing that shows all these red lasers, and it says something about August 25th.
So it says
and an eclipse.
So August 25th is when the new season releases, and at the bottom of it, it says, "Are you in?"
Are you in?
Or something like that. And next season could be a heist theme.
And it could be a heist theme.
And
very interesting.
But now at the apparatus, instead of it just being a purple laser shooting up to the sky, it's like this like purple stuff around it shooting up.
Okay.
It's really cool.
Like purple nanoparticles all surrounding and shooting.
And then where the apparatus is, the main structure of it is all glowing purple.
Okay.
And on
the power of the purple.
Mm-hmm. And on the part where it's standing,
purple power.
Kenan's having a Zevia with us.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's standing, and on the cubes they had these like weird symbols or letters on the cube.
Oh, you said there's cubes all around it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the same symbols were on the cube.
On the apparatus.
They're on the part of the apparatus,
which we showed to my patron video.
And then the base is glowing on each part.
Very cool. Hey, before you go, because we're excited about
Next season.
all that stuff, and next season on Fortnite, and we'll tell you guys all about
Next
it
season releases on the 25th.
on the 25th. But first, we did not put this one item on the video that we'll play. It's going to premiere right after happy hour. And there's a link in the description for it at the very top. So Cannon wanted to show, this is his German, very nice but difficult. It's more of like for a hobbyist roller coaster. It's Faller. It's from Germany. Which one is this one?
The roller coaster, like the wild mouse.
Wild
Mouse.
I don't think it means mouse. Westwood would
What's
know.
it say? What's the name? How do you spell it?
Wild mouse.
Mouse.
Yeah, that's mouse in German. Mouse.
Oh, okay. You were right.
Like a bat is a Fledermaus, a flying mouse.
Well done.
Fledermaus.
And
Yeah.
should I?
Yeah, we'll have pictures. There is one piece, no, two pieces. A car railing. One railing is
a car main, like the main structure of the car, it broke in half.
one of them's broke,
for some reason.
but there are other ones that are
And
intact.
the other one is.
Oh, I got you.
And then there's one other yellow piece
It's like this tiny rod, which
that we don't know what it goes to.
But it's probably.
So we took pictures of those to include it because this one was opened, but the rest of it is new and all in the box. So this one will be a lot less than.
I don't know if you need
the other
batteries.
one well, and we can't read the instructions to tell you if it needs batteries
because it's all in German.
It's all in German.
Well,
Battery. It's kind of the same. I mean, when you say it, a lot of the words sound the same. Like it's spelled
Isn't it?
different, mouse, but it's pronounced mouse. So I
Okay.
mean, when you start saying them, you'll hear the words. You read it. Anyway, battery. It's the same thing. Battery, just spelled differently.
Cool. So we'll have this on the Mighty Merchants eBay store. We'll get it up there tonight, right after the show.
Actually, the instructions you can read them because.
Oh, you can?
Because beneath the German, there's English.
Oh,
There you go.
Well, on the other one, when I took it to Dad's, we looked at the instructions, and beneath the
German
words, there's English underneath.
Oh, okay.
Perfect.
So maybe there could be the same thing on these instructions.
That is this one.
No, the one we already sold.
You didn't open the one you already sold.
Oh yeah, this one had.
So this is the one.
So this is the one. So you have both German and English instructions. Okay.
On this one.
All right. Love you. Thanks for joining us.
Beautiful. Bye, Cannon.
Bye. You can take your Zevia and.
Bye, Westwood.
See you, Cannon. Bye.
All right. Love you too, babe. He's very excited. Wanted to catch everybody up. Thought it was very important. Everybody knows the Fortnite update. So. Okay. Yes, you're gonna have your own YouTube channel soon, and you can do all your updates.
Do it. He'll get plenty of subscribers. I mean,
Oh,
just
I'm
sit there and play games. Just sit there and play games, and
Yeah.
people will just sit there and watch you.
Yeah, he's a mess. Yeah, he cracks me up.
He'll be making more money than his mom on YouTube.
He will. He will. Because I don't make much on YouTube. But I am grateful for those of you that support me on Patreon.
Yes.
And so I put out a new video on Patreon and let everybody on that is a patron have first dibs at all my little finds for the Mighty Merchant Shop. And I had some great finds this week. So if you're a patron, make sure you watch that video before, well, hopefully you watched it this week already. And if you wanted to purchase one of those items, you could send me a DM in Patreon, and then I offer one item with free shipping. You pay for the item. I cover your shipping if you're a Patreon member as a way to say thanks. So if you guys are interested in that, you can check that out. But that video will go live to the public when those items go live on eBay publicly, which will be in about 30 minutes after this video. And you can find a link to the Mighty Merchants in the description below as well. That's another way to help support the channel and find something that you love that I love too. So Anyway, back to the news and fun stuff.
Well, that was fun though. A lot of symbolism there.
I know.
A lot going on. I'd like to see the people that actually put the game together, the thought people, the ones that develop the storyline and all that stuff, what their background is. I'm sure they're bringing in people with a lot of symbolic history, and all kinds of archaeology and, just all kinds of different things, legends and lores and mythology and all that stuff.
A video came out today. Well, I came across it today about this lady, heartbreaking story. I watched the whole thing, and she, it was about all the pedophile presidents and how there's like 5 women that are trained to do these like sexually deviant things. Not just women now, because like they said how Bill Clinton's actually homosexual or bi or whatever.
And how do we do this? Oh, yeah.
Yes, and Obama.
I'm trying to do an O.
Sure. Yeah, I think everybody knows.
Trying to pinch myself.
Like the one guy tried to say, oh, well, he was doing drugs with me in the limo and all that.
Larry Sinclair, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, I feel like it's common knowledge.
It's an open secret. I mean, everybody knows it.
I think it is an open secret.
Yeah.
But it's pretty shocking to me that more people don't know about it.
Nobody talks about it on the news. I mean, you get home, you work, you sit down, you want something to eat, you kick back, turn on the freaking news, just because. And that's what people listen to, and, and they just don't get it. They're just not digging. They don't have time. I don't have time to look into that.
But you don't have time for knowing that the leaders in your country are raping and murdering children. And I mean, it's completely insane to me.
I mean, why would you think that it's any different than it ever has been? I mean, I'm rhetorically saying that, not you. Right. That's the way it's always been. It's always been that way. And we just kind of, it's just the way things are. We don't want to think about that too much, because then we'll have to do something about it. So let's not think about it. We'll just say, yeah, they're bad guys. And he was having whatever in the Oval Office. Yeah. And then that's the end of it.
Pizza,
right? No, that's not the end of it.
And hot dogs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it goes a lot deeper, and that's the thing. They'll just give you the superficial level of it. But with these deviants, it doesn't stop just at the superficial stuff. It's never enough. So just think about how deep the rabbit hole goes, how dark and depraved people can be. These are the kind of people that run things. Yeah. That's just the way it is. So, what are you going to do about it?
And I've heard from 2 different sources now this, I'm going to say it wrong probably. Something about 300 or the group of 300.
Okay, yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, not the Club of Rome. It's not the council. It's a council of. It's not the Council of 300, is it? Something like that. There's a name like for it.
And
that rule everything.
This one guy said that Gorbachev accidentally came over and had like our president and vice president beside him and said, this has been approved by maybe it is the Council of 300 or the whatever.
There's a name for it, yeah.
And they are the most elite, most wealthy, powerful 300 men in the world that you don't even know their names or faces. I mean, Soros is nothing compared to these people.
No, if you know their names, then it's not them.
And you don't know who they are.
It's not them.
Yeah. But he said this has been approved by I think it is Council of 300. And it made me think,
it might be.
Like, look how they think they're so smug that they have this movie called 300 that's actually like inspires people and seems like a good, benevolent thing. 300, whatever. But then you find out they're actually these deviant, horrible psychopaths. Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know what to say about it.
I know.
Yeah.
It's just very disturbing.
It is. I mean, and if you've got all the wealth and you've had it for centuries in your families, whatever, and you passed it on or passed it, the legacy, the torch to the next person to join the club. I mean, you don't want anybody to know who you are. You just want to run things and let all these other idiots take the fall. You know, it's like, hey, you go out there and, you know, be Justin Trudeau and we'll put you in place. You go act like an idiot and carry out our orders.
Well, and these legacy families, like this girl that she was in, you know, mind controlled through the MK Ultra. She's telling her whole story, and then how she was rescued out of that, and then had a healing with her daughter who, you know, she said probably the worst torture was knowing that one of her children were allowed to survive only to be harvested by these evil people and used, and then she couldn't protect her own child from what she had experienced herself. And then hearing her talk about that she had empathy for George Bush Jr. because he was about her age and she had seen him be hunted at Bohemian Grove, I think it was, or
other forests, you know, that they own vast tracts of land.
Hunting party. She had seen they drop these children off, and then have the dogs chase them, and she had seen his own father abuse him in some of the most horrible ways. So
doesn't surprise me.
Yeah,
it really doesn't. I mean, you know, it's all about.
So, do we have empathy for Hunter then?
I mean,
these are the weird conversations that
no, absolutely,
that have been exposed.
I have empathy for people
Hunter
who
has
are
this very strange conversations to Joe.
Yeah,
and Ashley
the daughter
writing things about her dad. Sorry, I'm interrupting you, but it's such a bizarre world.
Yeah. But that's what they do. I mean, they do those kind of things. And I mean, you see it in the humiliation that happens. And they can use that for whatever way they want as to, okay, you don't ever let any of these underlings humiliate you. You know, this is what I do. And I mean, it's just all this mind control stuff. But, you know, you got to think, okay, if it happened to that son, it happened to the father, and happened to the father, happened to the father, it just self-perpetuates. At some point, you have to take responsibility and opt out of it and do things. And that's why I see sometimes some of these families, you know, they've been around for a long time, that have experienced this. Once in a while, you'll see a ray of light when they step away from the family and they kind of go off on their own path. And, you know, you're like, that's interesting coming from somebody like that. You can see it in the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers. So you're like, well, that guy didn't seem too bad, even though his last name's like creepy. And you know, you'll see some of them maybe be breaking out of it. But ultimately, it's, I mean, when you own everything and you have everything and you're used to being abused, and it's hard to break out of that abusive cycle. You know, you're just going to perpetuate it and become what they were. It's hard to break out of that. And they know that because they've psychologically screwed them up.
Yeah, they have all this, I mean, years and years and years of psychological testing, military operations. I mean, this came out of World War II. I mean, this is part of Operation Paperclip. This is a perpetuation of that, and the torture on children and how that shatters their mind and all of this. I mean, it's unbelievable.
I mean, you look at it, the abusive relationships. I mean, you see it every day. You know, you'll be like, why is that person staying with him? You know, it's like, look what happens from the outside. And it's just like, well, no, I can't do it. And you know how it is. I mean, and it's just, you don't, when you're in it and that's your world, it's your, like Light Shadow says, you know, the matrix is strong. You don't see, you're not out of it and looking at it. So I feel like I got an echo here. Is it me?
I think it's just you. I can put my headphones in. Hold on. Let me
no. I'm curious. I hear myself.
Well, yeah, it may be because I have, hold on. Let me try to get
this
connected. Because I left it off because Canon, I'm connected, but I'm not. Because Canon was in here, so I thought.
Yeah. No, as far as that, though, that's better, I think. Yeah, I don't hear it now. I hear voices in my head all the time, and I talk to myself all the time. I just not that clearly, you know, loudly.
Try this.
Yeah, I do feel empathy for these people because everybody's a human being. You know, I call them vampires, but, you know, they got the spirit of a vampire in a lot of ways. It's just that at some point, you know, you want them to break out of it. You know, you feel bad for them, and you kind of have empathy on them that they're just that damaged and broken, and that's the world that they grew up in. But it makes, at some point you just can't make excuses anymore, and sometimes, people got to hang. Is basically what it comes down to, because you can't keep doing this to people. There's opportunities, you might want to take them and do the right thing once in a while, and a lot of these people don't.
Well, and that stands with the, living in equity with someone, or living in equity, not with someone, standing in equity or living in equity under the, what do they call the maxims of equity? One of the things says that equity, how is it stated? I'm trying to learn them all. Equity does not favor a volunteer or it's kind of like don't be a victim.
Yeah.
I don't know where it is. I have a whole list, but
Get that. I forgot my gin.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to get my gin out of the freezer. Hang on. I'm going to grab my gin out of the freezer.
Okay, you grab your gin and I'll look at some more stuff. Yeah, I will find it. JB Rants. Lisa should read my thing for the show because it's true. Wait, what thing? Do you mean JB? Do you mean I Am's thing? I know I Am posted something on the Mighty Lair. If you guys aren't part of the Mighty Lair, please go do that. Please join Den.social and search and sign up for the Mighty Lair. It's something you can join for free, and it allows us to be a community together, and we can exchange energy over there, and it'll be perfect. So I'm curious what you mean. But sorry, JB, my last comment. Oh, yeah, I'm probably not going to read that out loud, but everybody can go check it out. And I did flash your last comment on the screen so people can read that. Because, we don't have freedom of speech anymore in America. Hey, speaking of hot topics, so
not Litecoin.
I'm curious, and
it is a hot topic.
Future.
Actually.
It's not for right now. That's future stuff.
So
it's a great buying opportunity. It's on sale.
It still works.
Yeah, but I'm curious what your thoughts are. I saw this exchange with, I can't think of who it was now, but Elon was having an exchange with somebody and said they're going to change that you can no longer block people.
I saw something about that. I wasn't sure what the details. Then he kind of backpedaled in a way. It's like, well, you can do this, but not this, and it's still.
You could mute them, but not block them.
I'm like, are you trying to destroy the platform? I'm just curious, or you really got a better motive here, a bigger motive here? I don't know, but you're kind of pissing people off.
I'm okay with pissing people off
for the right reasons.
Yes, if it's constitutional, if it's true. We had this at school this week. We went back to school. We had our orientation for homeschool co-op this week, which we homeschool year round, but we have our co-op during August to May or whatever, April or May. But we came back, and our director, she's amazing, and she goes over the top and does so many great things for us. But she had this little thing, and she's talked about, culture within the community. And one of the things was, it was an acronym for think. Is it true? Is it helpful? Is it inspiring? Is it necessary? And is it kind? And a couple of those I might throw out because I think it's important if things are true, helpful. I don't know about inspiring. That's nice, but I also think nice can be thrown out.
My whole life is built on inspiration. Come on, right. That's like the thing. I just want to inspire people. All right.
Well, inspiring is great, but is it necessary? But I don't think it always has to be kind if it is true and helpful and necessary. So when he was saying to block people, it's kind of like, if you just don't want to hear the truth, that's what a lot of has been happening. People just don't want to hear it. They want to, stick their hand in their pants and drink beer and watch football and say that the rules don't apply to them. Yeah. You know what I mean? They aren't political, or, this doesn't apply to them. So they don't have those conversations. it still affects you, bud. I mean,
Yeah. And
that,
I guess the other thing is I haven't really hashed it out yet, but to think about it, it's when you block somebody, that probably affects the overall algorithm of the people who are following you and you are following. So that person you block might not show up in their feed, and it might have some influence. So maybe that's part of it. Again, I don't know his motivations. Maybe it's because the algorithms and the code is so entrenched that, okay, by allowing people to block other people, it might affect it in some way we don't know, and then cause other people not to have the ability to see that person as much. I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm just kind of speculating here on what his mindset is too.
Yeah. And if he cleaned up the bots, because I have to tell you, like almost every time I post or I'm tagged in something, I get just sales bots trying to hustle people as replies. And so I do need to be able to block people,
Right.
or otherwise it's going to be I won't be able to have a conversation. It'll be so full of noise. I won't be able to see who I really want to talk to, who's really
Yeah.
responding to me. That's a real human. And that's where like proof of human is something that is severely lacking.
Okay, you're getting into the wheelhouse of everything that gets talked about, on the whole Hash It Out show with digital identity. I mean, the more you start thinking about it, it's coming. I mean, it's an important thing to verify. You think voting, to verify the identity of someone, but doing it in a way that's not, Stasi state, police state.
That
Right.
doesn't dox them.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
just like your phone. Think of your phone. Your identity. That's your phone. You can identify yourself with a face scan if you want to, thumbprint, whatever it is, a passcode. You're identifying yourself that you are who you are. This is my phone. I'm unlocking it. Now, if you can extrapolate that out to, okay, I'm using my phone, I'm verifying who I am with whatever it is, whatever credentials that, are being used, and then now I want to go vote. Okay, boom. Well, we know that, you've got this number and you've got this, and that's you and whatever it is. And you can now participate, or you can unlock the medical records that nobody else can. It's only you, that kind of thing. But you don't do it in a centralized way necessarily. You don't do it to where, hey, let me show you everything I got, and put me in a database somewhere where you've, can be hacked and that kind of stuff. And so I don't know. We just got to rethink how we do things.
Well, and
but there's a need for that though, because that's truth. Or your identity. Yeah. It is true. Somebody forging, stuff who you are. You see it on Twitter all the time. The Litcoin Lisa as opposed to Litecoin Lisa.
Yeah.
It's like, well, who's the Litcoin Lisa? It's ridiculous. Block her.
I know. Well, and so here's the other thing is one of the first things they do when they copy me is that they block me first. And then they copy me. So then I get all these messages from people that say, oh, you just asked me for money and you just asked me if I want to invest in whatever and sent me and I'm like, okay, first of all, you must not think that because that's not of my character. And I didn't, and you're sending me this message through another avenue or profile.
Right.
But thank you for letting me know, because I think that's what they think I can do something about it. But one of the first things they do is block me. So maybe it's a prevention mechanism for that. But really, until Elon fixes his census, until he cleans up the bots, and we know actually how many people are really on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think you have to have, and with that being said, I don't think you have to have only one identity, but you have to be a real human, I think.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
I don't know.
Because because there's an unlimited number of corporations, there's an unlimited number of bots, there's an unlimited number of non-humans out there. And so if you're creating all these non-humans, well, that's an unfair battlefield. It's an unfair, field that you're playing on.
They shouldn't
I get it.
have as much weight in the conversation if they are,
or it should be marked, or it should be unverified, or something. Not necessarily that, but I don't know. Vampires and humans. That's all we got here.
Yeah, there was a conversation of that in Congress recently that said, the deep fakes are so good that there should be some kind of thing that says, like, either there's a big red frame around it that says, this is a deep fake.
You have to declare
or whatever. Like, you are what's it called when you make fake money?
Copying it. You just got to put
No,
copy
no.
on it or something.
I'm saying
Counterfeiting.
Counterfeiting. Thank you. It's like you're counterfeiting a human.
It's like counter fiat.
Right. You're counterfeiting humans with this AI. And so it's fine if you want to use it for your business, but you should also be told that you're interacting with a counterfeit human. Like I'm really okay with, I actually don't want to call. It's annoying to call and talk to a human to order my pizza or my prescription to reorder. Oh gosh, they're so slow and
I get it.
annoying, and
No, it
no
makes
offense,
sense.
but for that kind of tedious thing, like I just want to be able to talk. I would love to talk to an efficient chatbot, but I want to be respected that I'm talking to a chatbot.
Yes, I want to know that because it's like, Donna Chang, you're not Chinese. You ever see the Seinfeld? No. I thought I was taking advice from a Chinese woman.
Oh my goodness.
It's Donna Chang. She's a white gal. You know, what's going on here? It's a funny episode.
Okay. I didn't have a lot of TV. I was in college then, so I didn't see a lot of that, but yeah.
It's all good. That's all I got. It's time to, sit around and watch Seinfeld reruns all day. That's all I do. So I get paid to watch it. And,
Seinfeld rerun.
Yeah, Seinfeld, Gilligan's Island, and the X-Files. So that's basically, once you watch those, then you'll know everything I'm talking about. Then I'm out. Okay. You know my secret.
Speaking of secrets, a friend of mine, Matt Moore, he's a radio host. I think the very first Bitcoin podcast on regular radio here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And he sent me this information. He said, "Hey, can you send this to Snippy because Woo Woo Dude was talking about this." Woo Woo Dude. Yeah, and I didn't catch this one, so I was going to ask you if you saw it. But
all right, I can't see anything right now because I'm getting old.
Okay, Denmark and Netherlands
I'm looking at it.
Received formal U.S. approval to send F-16s to the Ukraine. What does that
Bring it on, man. Start World War III. Let's just get it over with. F it. Just do it. Let's do it. Just blow everything up. Everybody, you got anything extra? Send it to Ukraine. Let's get the party started. I mean, what are we doing? I mean, why are we doing this? What's the whole point? Try to get you into war. Things are collapsing. I think it's all falling apart in September and October. I think it's all going to happen because, you've got things just unwinding right now. Nobody's got any money in the bank. They're all tapped out. Credit card bills, debt's higher than it's ever been. They're still raising rates. China's cutting rates. They got bankruptcies going on over there. And we're just going to keep on pushing it. When next stimulus? That's where I'm at. When are you going to start doing stimulating again? Because they're like, we need more money, so let's create $5 trillion and give $500 billion to the people and keep $4.5 trillion and do what we want with it. Well, at least the people get a check and they're happy. By the way, maybe we'll just do it more efficiently, and we'll have you download an app and get your free CBDCs this next time.
Maybe this next weekend, or maybe this weekend.
I'm telling you, I think they're going to have to. There's going to be a crisis. Something's going to happen. I just feel
something's
in the
going to
next
go
couple of months.
Down.
Yeah, something's going to break. Something's going to happen, and then they're going to come in and they're going to try and just flood the market again with stimulus, because that's all they can do. And that's what you notice. The stimulus gets shorter and shorter between these time periods, and it gets higher and higher because that's what a Ponzi scheme does. You got to keep pouring more money into it to keep it going. So the next stimulus is going to be $10 trillion. It'll probably be by the end of the year at this point. Maybe by March of next year. I don't know. But we're there. We're getting close, I think.
I think we're very close.
I could be totally wrong, though.
Well, the BRICS announcement comes out on the 23rd. And then
it's like a few days.
It is, yeah. Let's see. Where did I see this? There was where is my little post? Aha. So they're saying it's on the 23rd, but there have already been movements or announcements happening behind the scenes. BRICS New Development Bank issues a South African rand bond.
They issued the rand.
The rand.
Yeah.
Hey, we know that guy. This was very interesting, I thought. BRICS Bank issues first ZAR bonds as it looks to use local currencies.
Hang on, go back. Where's the ZAR bonds at? Where were you seeing that?
Can you not see this?
Okay, yeah, I see it. I see it down there. Yeah. I just wanted to see the spelling. Okay.
ZAR.
Yeah, not CZAR.
Oh no, not CZ.
ZAR.
Share this tab instead. So I'll just touch on this really quick. BRICS Bank issues first ZAR bond as it looks to use local currencies. The new development bank established by the BRICS bloc of emerging economies has issued its first bonds denominated in South African rand, which is known as ZAR. So the rand is the ZAR. The auction, which was closed on Tuesday, is part of the bank's efforts to increase both fundraising and lending in local currencies. Oh my goodness. So it said it's issued its first ZAR bonds worth 1.5 billion rand, nearly $78 million US. And the institution said the announcement published Wednesday and quoted by media.
See, so it's still a debt-based system, though, right? If they're issuing bonds.
Yeah, it would be.
And so I'm like,
so it's another failure then.
Kind of in my mind, I'm like, okay, we're doing the same thing over again. We're just kind of starting from scratch. But I don't know. We'll see what happens next week. They got their big meeting. You know what it's all going to be. You know, if it's going to be pegged to gold or something, because most things have been pegged to the dollar because we've liquefied and drowned the world in it. You know, so you're kind of stuck with it, and that's what you use. But I don't know. Maybe it's going to be pegged to something else at some level, some percentage, and that maintains the purchasing power. So if you're going with a debt-based system, it's all over. I mean, we got to go with an asset-backed system. Until we get to that point, we're done. It's not going to change.
Because otherwise, you're just basing your system on that. Well, how much can you afford in your monthly payment?
Yeah, and you're going to have to create more of it to pay the crap back. I mean, so it's a Ponzi scheme. It just continues and keeps, until you have an asset-backed system where, okay, we all have assets, and I have a Litecoin. I'm going to stake my Litecoin with you, and you're going to hold it as collateral. I mean, we tried that with institutions. That failed. I mean, but as individuals, maybe we say, hey, listen, okay, fine. You have family members that might loan you money. Well, maybe not. They'll loan you money, and it'll be like, okay, here's the terms, whatever it is. But you can do, hey, I've got silver, and I need cash, or I need crypto, or I need to borrow this car for a year and lease it, whatever it is. I mean, you can use those assets as collateral. Right now, there's no collateral. It's just kind of, oh, yeah, I promised to pay you back. Well, are you credit worthy? Yeah, it looks like you worked in the past. Looks like you've kind of done things. And, yeah, you're probably going to stay alive long enough to, slave for me for 10 years or something, or 30 years with a mortgage. But there's no, you're the collateral. I mean, but we need assets for collateral, and then that's a whole different kind of system. It's not this debt system of a promise to pay later. It's like, no, I got all the money right here, and I'm letting you hold it. I'll pay you back within the time frame with something or whatever. I'll make it right. But if I don't, then you keep my collateral. I don't know. The whole debt-based thing is just
goes right to Reggie Middleton's patents and for his IP. That peer-to-peer transfer of value takes you out of that debt-based system, because then you are trading and operating in an asset to asset. I was trying to find this.
We're all indentured servants is basically how we're operating now. That's basically
right, but we don't
think
need
of it that way. Right.
It made me so angry.
That's how they want it, though. They want us to be vampired and enslaved and steal our energy.
Which is why the Red Cross is stopping people from helping people in Hawaii, because
they
want to be the middleman.
Well, I can't. The Rosicrucian. I can't even with them. I mean, I just can't.
So angry. Yeah,
I just can't. These multinational corporations that the first thing, you watch the national news. Oh, text blah 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 to the Red Cross and give $10, and it's like,
it'll never help the person that you're trying to help.
Okay.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Hawaiians are, jet skiing up and rowing stuff up from other islands, bringing stuff because, you can't come through here. It's not safe yet. We're going to close the road. Well, guess what? We're just going to go around it and help, our fellow man. I like Nick Algar's video yesterday. Did you see that?
Oh, I didn't see it.
Yeah, he's in Honolulu, he's in the Oahu, and, and then he's talking about, he's like, just get out. Feds, get out. FEMA, get out. We'll handle it at this point. Just get out. You know, you're just getting in the way. You're not helping things. And he's right. Biden, don't even bother showing up. Those were his comments. You know, it's like, we don't need the photo op. You know, you're way too late. It doesn't matter. You know, if you're going to do anything, send us some of the Ukraine money, you know, so that we can at least, you know, buy people stuff to bring stuff over, because we'll get it done. Hawaiians will get it done. The culture will take care of itself unless you impede the culture from doing that, or the community. And that's what's happening.
That's another Native American or indigenous culture.
Yeah, so let's wipe it out. Let's just start wiping them off the map. You know, and that's been the game, you know. You got stuff that we like, get rid of it. Hey, we'll slaughter all the buffalo and stack them in a pile. And you know, whatever. You know, we're not going to use it. We're just going to waste it. But guess what? You're going to starve now. We win. We're going to roll in with guns.
Crazy to think about. Crazy.
It is. You know, it's just this tyranny that goes on and on and on in every culture. And you've got vampires, and you got people that just get eaten up by the vampires. At some point, you say, enough. Done. I'm just done with this.
Well, and there was let's see.
Then you get a directed energy weapon shot on your house.
Yes.
You know, so that's the problem now. You know, the technology has gone so far that it's like, okay, we need an intervention from above. I mean, you're kind of getting to that point. We may be getting close to that kind of point.
Well, like Cannon said, there are the motherships.
I'm just saying, you know,
waiting to step in. And I saw like there were fires in Hawaii, and then Florida, and now Canada as well. Earlier
all
this
over
week.
the place. You know, and that's
They're
As the
everywhere.
World Burns. I mean, that's our new soap opera now. As the World Burns. You know?
Yeah, and meanwhile, you're seeing that the plan is to acquire land from from all these ravaged wildfires.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, there's no way that it can be done. You know, we need to have, it'll be under the guise of housing for everybody, or, you know, what do they call it? I don't know what they call it, you know. Yeah.
I cannot find the Ponzi scheme that I was trying to find.
Political name, some, you know, righteous name that they give it, and then they come in and take over everything and rebuild it. Build back better. He's telling us what they're doing. Hey, we're going to destroy the whole world and build back better in our image.
Yeah, but there is truth coming out. I mean, now all of a sudden they're saying like, oh, well, now you can prescribe ivermectin for COVID.
That pisses me off.
And I
so
know
much.
that we've
known this the whole time.
Made jokes. I mean, like Saturday Night Live skits
horse
and
paste.
shamed people about horse paste
Joe
and
Rogan.
all this.
Oh, look, he's eating horse paste. You know, all the news shows. Oh, you know. And then you got CNN that actually, when they did the report of Joe Rogan when he was taken prescribed by a doctor ivermectin, not the horse paste, same stuff, but they show his face and they filter it out and wash it out like it's gray. And he's kind of tan and reddish, you know, works out, that kind of thing. But no, and when they showed it on CNN, it's like gray and emaciated, you know, making it look like he's sick. I mean, that's what they do, though. And they're just disgusting human beings. I mean, all of these paid for mockingbird shills, vampirelings, little pukes. That's what they are.
Speaking of which, there's Podesta's back.
Oh my God, I
getting
can't.
paid to and back in there. This was incredible to me. This was Frankfurt, Germany International Airport. The buildings were flooding with huge rainfall caused by a thunderstorm and cancellation of many flights. That was pretty wild to watch.
Skippy. Yeah, that's another thing, light shadow. And, you know, again, there's all kinds of conspiracy theories. But here are the facts. We had a guy that was there at the Vegas shooting in charge of the commander of, you know, a few hundred people to oversee the Las Vegas Strip when you had the shootings occurring in 2017, the Las Vegas shootings. This guy then becomes the police chief of Maui in another disaster. You know, it's just like disasters follow this guy, you know, just terrible events follow this guy. He studied with the FBI Academy, so I'm sure he's really trained in these kind of things. So I don't know, but it's interesting that, you know, he's at the center of a lot of these things. What's that mean? Make what you will of it, but those are the facts.
It's very interesting. I got some wild promoted tweets today. Christmas is coming, or countdown for Christmas.
July 1st it starts. I saw TikTok. I don't see them much. They show up on my Twitter feed once in a while, and it's like June 30th. Everybody's hot.
I haven't gotten any since July 1st.
No, but
today,
listen, no, it's June 1st. It's like the girl's like, it's June 1st, and she's hot and sweaty. It's like, oh my gosh, it's summer, and then it says July 1st, and she's got a Santa hat on. She's like, it's Christmas time, because that's kind of how the marketing goes. They've got Costco rolling out Christmas stuff in the stores already.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was a die-hard countdown clock. Like, it was the most morbid. I don't understand how this is a countdown to Christmas, but it was a tower and a man jumping out of the window, which I know is from the movie and all that stuff, but it was the weirdest looking thing. And it looked like there was like wording or something on the bottom.
You sent that to me, and it looks like this guy's got a gun or something falling, and it's like,
he's falling down the building.
To me, the first thing I thought, because you're into the, what's the message? My first initial thought, my gut feeling was, okay, by Christmas, everybody's going to be jumping out of buildings because we're going to have a crash, because there was this big tall building, how it is, all the stories of people jumping out of buildings whenever you have an economic crash, Wall Street, that kind of thing. That was my first thought, that get ready, here it comes. And I've been thinking this anyway, and so maybe that's why I'm on that wave of thought when I see these things.
Would that be the Wall Street crash coming? And then,
that's how they have to do stimulus, though. They got to crash Wall Street, otherwise you're not going to get more stimulus. I mean, because that's what everybody's like, oh, panic, you need to print money. We can't have the stock market going down. It upsets the whole apple cart. So if you start seeing the stock market crash, get ready, baby. The helicopters are coming.
Interesting.
Or maybe it all changes and we transition into a new system, and the white hats are taking over. But I still think the black hats are going to still try the same old crap. They're going to try and just keep rigging the game.
I guess there will always be evil if there's.
There is. It's just we need more good than evil. Well, actually, we have more good than evil. It's just we can't have the level of evil and depravity in control that we have now. I mean, we used to have a posse. People would round them up. You'd take care of business. You'd get things done. It's like you start, wait a minute, you mean you didn't count those votes right? Okay, we'll handle you. You do something wrong, I mean, it gets handled. And maybe not the best way, but it gets handled. Mm-hmm. And now nothing's getting handled. Hunter Biden, he just got released from his tax thing.
Though.
Sure, it is. The information's coming out. Absolutely, it's coming out. But it's up to all of us.
It's up to us to say enough.
Keep pushing.
And the other big, I don't know how many of them I sent you, but there's all these, something about flags and standing up and the light being on the flag. And even in the American State National Movement thing, they were posting flags and standing for the flag. And there's a,
look at the song. The song by what? Oliver Armstrong, isn't that his name? Richmond, north of Richmond. That resonates with people. People
Richmond,
know.
North of Richmond.
Yes, a great song because that hits a chord in humanity. And I watched his YouTube video, like 4 minutes long, where he was coming home from an event where he sang like a farmer's market or something. And he was there forever. He just spontaneously kind of got up there and sang, I think. But he hit.
Whatever. He did not get up there and spontaneously sang.
I don't know. He knew he was coming. But anyway. It is.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the message that he put out was, listen, I'm not a great singer. I'm not this and that, but I put out a song that really hits people and elicits from them what they've already been thinking. It puts words to it. And that's what art does. It elicits what you're already thinking and gives it a voice, gives it an image. And when people can resonate with that, they can hold that up. That's why you've got all, you'll have, there's certain anthems, there are certain pieces of art, there are certain things that people do that it clicks something in everybody and wakes them up and says, yeah. And they can rally
and
around
they identify that. Yeah.
Yeah. And you've hit it. You've hit it. And now that gives me the power that brings it out of my soul to stand up now and say, yeah, we're together. Or it's a rally cry. And I kind of see that in that song. And I think we'll see more of that stuff coming out because that's when the best art, comes out. And the reason why is because it's already inside of us. And somebody just comes along and says, okay, I'm tapping into that, and I'm just expressing what's inside of you already and pulling it out. And then people rally around it. And that's when you have change, massive change very quickly. I think we're on the cusp of that right now. I feel that.
Just more and more needs to come out. Well, especially when there was this. This apparently is a really common thing with Ponzi's. I know there's another situation like this with a Ponzi scheme that I'm aware of, where pseudonyms are used.
PETA.
Yeah, to cover up
PETA.
who's actually in the
Bob
project.
PETA. Bob J. PETA.
Yeah, so this is Robert L. Peters.
Oh, L. Okay,
was
Robert
used
L.
by
Peters.
President Biden when emailing his son's business associates. Interesting, it's son, dads, and sons, and then using pseudonyms in these, really
Seems kind of shady.
Seems kind of shady. Sounds kind of familiar to me too. Anyway,
I mean, we're watching it play out. We've seen it in our everyday lives many times where corrupt people exist, but we're watching corrupt people operate right now. I mean, at the highest levels. I mean, who does this?
A lot of people.
A criminal does this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on. What do you got to hide, Joe? Why you got to hide behind the name? What's going on, Joe? What do you got to hide?
Yeah. Why are you changing your name? Interesting. What have you got on your notes? Because I've been blabbing.
I don't know. I have a bunch fine. More. I'm just commenting on them. I got all kinds of stuff. Let me see.
The Camp David. This was interesting because you do keep up on this kind of stuff. The Camp David Trilateral Summit cements U.S., Japan, and Republic of Korea commitment to consult in a crisis. Does that really?
Pick a cigar.
Is that more of like a tying their hands to not engage with others?
Oh, I think so. I mean, you saw it's, you've got factions right now. You've got the BRICS versus the West, whole narrative going on. And so, I mean, I think of the people that are going to be still on the side of the United States corporation or the empire, and you got to think it's those people probably that can't produce their own fuel. Japan, they don't have any energy. They're not energy independent when it comes to that stuff. I mean, South Korea. I mean, people like that, yeah, I could definitely see it. Mexico, they're going to get strong-armed because, we're like on top of them. I mean, in South America, there's going to be an influence from the, United States because we're so close. So yeah, I mean, it's probably, hey, listen, this is how it's going to roll out. We're going to have a meeting. You're going to come here and we're going to tell you what the script is. More than likely is how it goes. I could be totally wrong, but yeah, that's probably what's happening. They're getting the troops in line, getting the races in their places, getting ready because it's about to hit the fan. Just my gut.
I think it is about to hit the fan. We are seeing it was just revealed that the Obamas were tied through to their staff members to Jeffrey Epstein's trafficking.
Come on.
One of their top council personnel, Kathy Rumier, was helping to facilitate the operation. That may be why Epstein didn't make it through the night.
Well, hey, next Friday is the deadline, right? All these,
I believe so.
18 or 19 RICO conspirators have to report to Fulton County, Georgia. Report to the county.
Down Fulton County says next Friday is the red laser beam day. If you ask Cannon.
So I mean, you've got that coming up. I can't believe it. RICO charges. Think about it. RICO. That's a federal thing, right? Isn't that what Rudy Giuliani used, to round up mafia? Mm-hmm. And he's one of the guys named in this RICO case. Kind of interesting. I don't know. No coincidences, maybe.
Oh, that was another huge calm thing that I found. Okay, first there's this 10th anniversary vigil of the chemical warfare massacre in Ghouta. They are going to be having a vigil in Washington at DuPont Circle on Sunday, the 21st at 7 p.m. And it says, "Don't suffocate."
Now, wait a minute. Sunday the 21st or Sunday the 20th?
Is written really. Well, they say the 20th.
Okay, so they're saying Sunday the 20th or Sunday?
20th. Yeah.
What are they saying in there? The 20th. Okay, I got you. I was
20th.
making sure. Nothing.
So if you're in DC, but then it says Monday. I'm sorry. Okay, this is why you were saying the 21st.
Yeah,
Monday will mark the 10-year anniversary, but on
Okay.
Sunday at 7 p.m., so the night before, they're having
Got it.
the vigil. Sorry.
Got it. No, I got it.
In Washington. And then there's all these weird little yellow, which that looks like the symbol for nuclear, right? Doesn't that yellow thing kind of look like?
Yeah, it's like an atomic thing. You know, the bomb shelter looking sign that I got in the bathroom here. The bomb shelter.
Yeah, doesn't that look like that?
Mm-hmm.
That's weird. Why would they choose that flower like that? That's very strange.
Right. Yeah, it's like a kind of a weird play on the symbol. You know, it's like, why would you do that? Yeah. Well, there's symbolism everywhere. There's meaning in it.
Symbolism is everywhere. We do have Roger that rolling out for military banking. This is very exciting. And they partnered with Nimbus Core. I'm curious to see what the function is of Nimbus Core if they use Reggie's patent there.
Little nimble wimble. Nimbus Wimbus.
Oh, maybe. If they need to ask for a license. It'd be cool for Reggie to have a military contract. Who knows?
Yeah, I like JB in the chat because I think we all feel that way, man. I mean, you know, it's just like, all right, we've had enough. All right, we're awake. We know what's happening. It's like, let's get on with the show already. I mean, let's get it on because it's to the point where enough is enough. I mean, how hard are you going to squeeze before people are done? You know, when it's just enough. And I think you're seeing that more and more people are saying it's enough. What do we have to lose? When you take everything, when you enslave people to where, you know, the dollar ain't worth shit, you know, and people, they're like, yeah, you're right.
And even when they're printing it, they're not sending it to you. They're sending it to Ukraine.
Yeah, you
even
don't even
when
get
your
it.
house is burned down.
You get $700.
Mm-hmm.
You know, here's $700 that you can't buy anything with on the island because, you know, all the shops are burned down.
No, Sean just got, thank goodness, Satoshi Sean is back home. Everybody, thank you for your prayers and all your loving energy sent to him. And I'm very grateful our friend is back home. But he went to go pick up scripts, and for something that is a plague in the United States, probably because of Big Pharma and Big Pharma taking over our farms and our food. And I won't disclose his health issues, but something very common. And it was over $1,000 for one prescription. It's criminal.
That is criminal. Absolutely criminal. And then you can go to other countries and get it cheaper. I mean, so, but see, go to the doctor's office. Here's a good example. Go to the doctor's office, you make an office visit and say, I don't have any insurance. Oh, okay. Well, here's your price. Full retail. You got a cash discount? No. I mean, but if we've got arrangements, we've got deals, we've got contracts with this company, this company, and this company where it'd be 50% less. But if I'm paying you in cash right now to where you don't have to go through the billing and all the hassle, you can't give me a deal? No. Okay, that kind of tells you how things work.
Because they're getting kickbacks.
Yeah, it's all a scam. I mean, it's all a good old boy network. I mean, it's all, hey, we made deals and you're not a part. You ain't in the club. What do you mean? Your cash is no good here. Your money's no good here. Yeah. But if you're playing ball with the the right people, then okay, we can give you a break. I mean, that's absolutely ridiculous. And that's why I think it has to get back to a point where, you think of the nostalgic doctor with the black case that shows up to the house. We need more things like that. We need more independent clinics, people that have their own business, and it needs to be published. That's the one thing. Nobody knows what you're paying for when you go to the doctor. This stuff needs to be completely transparent of this is what it costs. Because inevitably you walk out and you're like, what's this charge? Then another charge comes in and you're like, what is this for?
Seems like some guy in a blue suit with a red tie that was president a little while ago ordered that or helped get that passed.
Yeah, and then do they follow it? It's just like there needs to be enforcement on this stuff. Hey, let's hire 87,000 agents to police the frickin' medical waste system. You know, instead of, I heard an IRS agent got shot by another IRS agent.
I did hear that.
And then somebody made a comment that said, well, 86,999 left.
Oh my.
It's like, whoa.
No, that's pretty harsh.
Yeah,
we do not encourage violence at all. But there was also, and I don't have the article, but I sent it to a friend of mine who works at Tinker. There were 17 deaths and 11 of them were suicides. The other 6 have not been released. What the cause of death were at the Air Force Base here in Oklahoma City, or it's in Midwest City. They call it, it's like a little suburb of Oklahoma City. From January to March of this year. That seems like a lot.
So what happened? I mean, just training malfunctions and accidents. I mean, what's going on there?
They said suicide.
Oh, suicides. Well, makes you wonder if it's a real suicide. What's wrong with what's going on? You know, in the ranks. I mean, you know, why are they so messed up to want to check out? Or if it's not, then what really happened, I guess, is the way to look at it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of desperation out there. I feel it, you know, and that's it. You know, I'm just starting to see it and starting to feel it to where something's going to crack. I mean, I just feel like something's coming.
Yeah. Like
people are cracking.
A hammer sometimes cracks things, and then the kraken comes in, and then sometimes you experience revolution from that.
Speaking of the Kraken, wasn't she indicted too?
Yes, she was.
Sidney Powell was indicted in that whole thing. RICO charges. Federal RICO charges, you know, enforced by or tried by the Fulton County of Georgia. Good luck with that. Good luck.
Expose some things they don't want to. Hey, what do you think about Trump not going to he's going to turn down the GOP debates, and he's just going to go on Tucker. He and Tucker are going to hash it out.
I'll tell you what, I mean, you know, all eyes will be on that because you look at the interviews that Tucker has done and the hard hitting stuff that, you know, a lot of it. Look at the interview with the former police chief, Capitol Police chief that he did. He did an interview when he was still at Fox and they shelved it. You know, this is during all this J6 stuff, and they just, no, you're not airing it. And so he had an interview, now that he's doing it independently, had an interview with the guy, and it's like, wow, that's eye-opening. And so he's had a lot of eye-opening interviews. So, yeah, I think, good. Get it out there. Let's hear it. I want to hear, you know, let's get it out there. And then go on Joe Rogan next. Let's get it on.
Well, and I guess
get it to the people.
Halpern Hayes had another interview. Gosh, what was she on? She did another interview here today or yesterday, and you know, some of her like really bold things talking about
bold statements.
Space Force has it all, that Trump is in control, that Biden is the president of the defunct, bankrupt corporation of the United States, and all that kind of stuff. And then Trump validated it, and then General Flynn validated that. General Flynn is coming to my town on Monday, and I have tickets to go see him. I'm super excited. So I didn't find out until like the other day, so I'm in the nosebleed section. But
you're going to be there. You're in the arena.
I'm going to be there. And it's one of these things, like the time we are in right now. I can't remember who I was watching. And they said that, like, galactically speaking, I guess, or that, you know, for those of us that chose to be here right now.
Yeah. This is the time.
It's the most exciting time because we're all saying, like, I will die on the battlefield, or I will choose me. You know, if you want to send somebody, send me, you know. So it's very exciting, I think, because we want to be the ones that say, I stand for truth.
Yeah. And not sit back and say,
right.
you know, I kept my pension.
to take, no, I don't care. I would rather, what did they say during the revolution? Like, people died, penniless. So look at Tesla. My God, he was trying to create
Right.
free energy and do all
Yep.
this for people. And we know that the money is a lie. So if you can go through this and think about the relationships and the people you can help and doing the right thing, like that's the only part of this you get to take with you forever.
That light of truth that you put out there might inspire someone else to carry that light of truth forward.
Yeah. Pretty exciting.
You got to keep it perpetual.
What a great time.
When you think about natives, and how they kept the light of truth, through an oral tradition, through that face-to-face contact of sharing that energy, and they absorbed it, listening to the stories, listening to all of the epic poems that they might have read to each other and memorized. I mean, they carried that tradition forward. It was like embedded in their DNA, just constantly carrying it forward. And that maintained,
and it was through frequency,
sound,
a
lot of it was
freedom of speech, and God spoke us into existence. All of this does have so much
spirit,
right?
Inspiration, aspiration. When you breathe, it's just that same. It's the same thing. It comes from the same root, and it's so important. The word, spoken word, the breath,
spoken word,
aspiration. That's the word.
My word is enough. And I think I'm going to make a shirt for the channel, and everybody can support the channel and wear their hashtag enough shirts. And we can start a movement, and maybe somebody else will nod to us at the store, or, on a walk around the neighborhood.
What do you mean enough?
Whatever.
Haven't you had enough? Yeah, I've had enough.
Haven't you had enough?
We've both had enough.
I've had enough.
Right. We've all had enough.
Join me in saying we've had enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's enough. It's time to stand up and stand out. So, all right. I'm going to wrap it up and let you guys go, but we're going to see you guys or talk to you guys on Twitter.
Maybe. Tonight. We'll see. I might have had enough. I don't know.
Oh, listen to Westwood getting all cranky.
Like, go out and do some target practice or something. I don't know. We'll see. Get prepared.
We'll hear you on Spaces. We'll see.
Might. Yeah.
Follow Westwood on Twitter and check out all of his great links and resources at clintwestwood.net.
Yep.
You can find my information at litecoinlisa.net, and you can book a session with Westwood and I at litecoinlisa.net. There's information there. Also, the link to the video that went live for Patreon on Monday is now live for all the items that are now active and live at Mighty Merchants today, right now, on Friday, and the video where you can see everything just posted as we're finishing this up 30 minutes ago. So you guys can check that out too.
We'll talk about some crypto, I guess, if I do Spaces. We'll get into that a little bit. What's really happening? What's going on?
Perfect. What's really going on?
What's really going on?
With all the EFT nonsense. Maybe.
ETF, EFT, ETF.
ET? Is that what you said?
ETF.
ETF. Okay. Well, we'll see. All the comms today.
All right.
You guys have a great weekend. Thanks for joining us in the chat. You are just a huge blessing.
Hey, I'm going to be all shaved up if I get on Spaces, so I won't look so happy.
Oh, thank goodness you're going to shave for Spaces.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
These men. Oh, my. Okay. All right. See you
all right. Trust yourselves.
Bye. Love one another.